Good afternoon, 22 minutes after 4 o'clock. This is GB News. We are Britain's news channel. I'm Nana Aquia. Welcome if you've just tuned in. It's time now for the first great British debate of this hour. I'm asking, do you believe that Nigel Farage could run the economy? One person who doesn't think so is Chancellor Rachel Reeves, who in an interview with The Guardian launched a scathing attack on the reform's offer to voters, saying that Nigel Farage hasn't got a clue. But as the economy shrinks and inflation rises, is she really the person to be saying this? Why don't we have a listen and remind ourselves of what our Chancellor said when she was slating the Tories over the national insurance increases in 2021 when she was the shadow Chancellor.
Despite all of their election promises to cut national insurance contributions, they're actually raising them against the strong advice of business and trades unions. The Conservative government's actions will make each new recruit more expensive and increase the costs to business. The decision to saddle employers and workers with the jobs tax takes money out of people's pockets when our economic recovery is not yet established or secure, and only adds to the pressure on businesses.
Which she obviously clearly knows, and she's done exactly that. So for the Great British Debate this hour, I'm asking, do you believe Nigel Farage could run the economy? Joining me now, political commentator Lin Mei and also political commentator Jonathan Less. Lin Mei.
Well, what do we call it? Brass neck? Like the front of her having such criticism towards Nigel Farage. And it's like, is this the Rachel Reeves who released the budget where the Bank of England have actually downgraded the forecast from 0.3 to 0? Is this the Rachel Reeves that the Bank of England has said she's killing growth? I don't know how someone can be so tone deaf to accuse anyone of not having a clue financially, where that's exactly what it seems like she has, not a clue.
Jonathan Less.
Well, I don't think that we can judge the Labour Party's economic record based on 5 or 6 months in office. We can have this conversation in 2 years and we can see how the economy has fared until then. There are many different sort of forecasts.
Why 2 years?
Well, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, it just takes it takes a long time for economic change to bed in.
If you're making changes and people are telling you that they're doing this and that and the other, and you've specifically said that it will, what you're just doing will crash the economy and be more for businesses, then you're going to do it.
No, the economy is not under no metric has the economy crashed.
No, it's crashing, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, what do you call zero? That we were the fastest growing in the G7 prior to Labour taking office, and now we're not. Well, it's as simple as that.
That was also based on different metrics.
What was it based on?
Depending on where you start.
Which metrics?
You can say that depending on where you start the period in which you're measuring growth. I mean, if you're doing it based on 1 year or 7 years,
isn't it, Jonathan?
I am saying that it is very difficult to run the economy if there was a silver bullet and then any
but
government.
We all know that.
Should we do something else as basic? Let's do something else as basic that is concerning. What about the black hole, which actually wasn't 20 billion?
Well, the OBR actually supported Reeves.
No, they said it was 9.
They said
it was half.
Like if a letter that said there was a significant black hole.
It wasn't 20. It wasn't 20 billion.
The original letter said that it was 22 billion.
No,
the guide. Look, I actually don't believe in the idea of black holes anyway. Because
neither do we.
Seems like they don't either.
I'm not here to defend Rachel Reeves. I'm here to give you my opinion.
Okay.
And black holes are something fabricated because based on the idea of a national economy being like a household budget or being like someone's credit card. You have a certain amount of credit, and if you maxed out, then you're in trouble. But we also have our own currency. We have our own central bank. We can borrow money. You asked me about black holes.
We didn't ask you. No, I didn't ask you about that. I'm asking you about Rachel Reeves.
You're asking me about Nigel.
Accusing Nigel Farage of not having a clue.
I'm asking you about Rachel Reeves because I specifically pointed to the fact that she talked about this awfulness about raising national insurance, has done exactly the same thing, and then she's saying that Nigel Farage can't run the economy.
Well, to be fair, it's apples and pears a little bit, because when she was in 2021, she was criticising a national insurance rise on employees and the self-employed, and that was in the manifesto, Labour's manifesto. They weren't going to increase that, and they didn't, but they did increase employer contributions to national insurance, which is different. I'm not saying that
different tax.
They have for, but they have. They have for
by
work.
employees,
No, sorry. She specifically said that raising national insurance without being whether it's employees or employees, and actually it does always end up falling on the employee anyway. But she specifically said that it's a jobs tax. Now, whether it's on the employee or the employer, it doesn't matter. It's a jobs tax, and she knows that, and she said it. That's the point.
It is on the employee, and I can tell you how. I'm an employee. I work via an umbrella company. There's thousands of us. My NI has gone up over 1,000.
Exactly.
And I'm an employee. I don't own a business. So this whole idea that, we're for the working people, we're not going to attack those who are working, we're not going to attack those who are employees. As I've said, I am, and many like me are.
Why is our national insurance gone up if you're an employee? Because they haven't increased it.
Because I'm a contractor. I work under an umbrella company. So there's a vast number of us, which many people don't seem to know or remember, and we've been hit by these same increases. So what do you say to someone like me?
I don't understand if you're not an employer.
But listen, the point is that the NI hike does fall on
working people,
on employees, and not just the employer.
I'm
sorry, let me finish. Can I say something? You both talk over the end of my words, and I've been polite to listen to both of yours. So the point that I'm making is that the NI hike does not just affect the employer, even though it's levied on the employer. It will affect the employee, and that's what Lin Mei is saying. And Rachel knows it because that's what Rachel has said. It's a jobs tax. And I'm asking, as she criticises Nigel Farage, why, if she's saying he can't run an economy, neither can she.
Well, she's been in, as I said, she's been in charge for 6 months. She's made some decisions that have been unpopular, and there are some decisions that may stand her in better stead.
Do you think the Bank of England's wrong then for downgrading based on her budget, downgrading our financial forecast of growth based on what she has done in her budget? Do you think they're wrong?
I'm not sure that it's entirely as a result of the budget, and there are different measures of the economy that are doing quite well. So last week, the pound hit the highest level against the euro since the Brexit referendum, for example. Now, either we say that every single good thing is because of external factors and every bad thing is because of the Chancellor, or we say the economy is a massive behemoth and that the Chancellor can affect some of it and not all of it. So, for example, when we talk about inflation, for example...
Now I know what you look like, a behemoth. Is that suit?
But the question, Nana, is whether Nigel Farage would do any better. And I can tell you for nothing, this man does not have an economic bone in his body.
But that's why he's getting people that are economically savvy.
The migration and Brexit, sorry?
Do you know, I would agree with you is, I think he's a brilliant front man, and maybe he's not that savvy, but I think he's garnering the right people that are massively successful. They understand business and they understand people who are in business. Would you not agree?
They're multi-millionaires, a lot of them. That doesn't make...
Well, many people are self-made. Are you criticising millionaires?
So is Keir Starmer. So are some of the people on the Labour front bench. You know what I mean? Liz Kendall, her husband, is incredibly rich. She's quite well off as well. They live in Notting Hill. We're not talking about that. What she's talking about are that there are a lot of business people behind Nigel Farage who understand the economy. Name one person on Labour's front bench who has run a business.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there are a lot of business people on the front bench.
Zero.
Well, fine.
And that's what makes Britain go round, British business.
It's not the only measure of being able to run an economy, and she has been an economist as well.
I think we need to have a go and look again at her LinkedIn.
Oh, should we go and have a look? Her CV, economist.
Admin. Well, listen, what do you think? News.com/your say, but during